point values for the monk to D10s instead of D8s. The
That
D8
makes sense.
D8
My
dies are for
friend wants to
rogues.
make a campaign where we don't have a traditional level up system. I'm not sure
Hmm.
exactly what he's thinking, but it's interesting because
I don't know how that would work. That's cute. That's
we're
interesting.
Level ups
definitely
are
gonna
either
be
XP or they're milestone based. And milestone based is like a story beat where
yeah.
the
I think
characters
milestone. I think milestone is
milestone is
better.
milestone is
Is it because milestone
without a doubt.
has part of your name in it as mile?
Yeah, sure. Wait,
Miles, the
what type of
was
monk are you?
the other thing we did with the monk is that we changed the damage die because usually you start off with D4s. Well, that's
Yes,
a
yeah, it's
little
pretty.
dumb because that's basically regular non-magical weapons and with martial arts. So we changed it to
Hmm.
where you would max out at a D10 die at your highest level. So we changed it to where you start at a D6 and you end at D12s.
Yeah, that makes sense because I'm in my first campaign ever right now, and I started off actually as a monk, so it's my first class, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and I actually really like monk, but again, it is one of those things of like I'm like I still feel like because I know like in the community everybody thinks like monk is the worst class. I do think it's fun, and I think role
Okay.
playing wise is really cool.
It's not yes
Uh,
because of people don't like it because of stunning strike. That's really what it is.
I used to think
yeah,
bards were trash, and then
Bards, bards,
bards are
I learned
good.
not no. I'm just like, bro, I'm not playing a bard, but that's something that changed over the course of like 4 years. I'm like, nah, bard life, bro. I used to be bard life.
Yeah,
in terms of
Mm.
like base abilities in the game, rangers are the worst. Um, even argue
that
sorcerers,
actually yeah.
even argue sorcerers are there too. But bards, like bards, are a role play class. They're not a combat class. That's the whole point of what they are because they get a lot of skill proficiencies and understandings about the shit. But like when I play Monk Miles, like I've played most of the subclasses. My favorite,
Okay.
my favorite's Sun Soul because I can,
Really? I've heard good
yeah,
things about Sunsoul. Yeah, because
like the
I'm
next
just open hand because it's
open
my first, but I'm multi-classing right now.
Open Hand's very good. Way of the Astral Self is very good. Way of the Four Elements, very good. I'm going to be playing Way of Shadows.
I thought Four Elements was really bad, like really badly.
You no Four Elements. I mean, I have fun with it because there's a specific uh, elemental build that I use, which is really easy.
Gotcha.
Because otherwise, it's just like, hey, you're a monk that has spells that other characters use, and you have to use key points to do them. I changed it up because I use the specific abilities that are to them.
Right. Okay. I'm like and like this like kind of like Percy Jackson style thing. So like I'm a demigod. So I started off as a monk because I didn't know who my parent was gonna be. Then I got Zeus, and I was like, well, damn, I kind of want to do lightning spells. So then I got
Get the-
Tempest Cleric.
Yeah.
So I have like 3 levels in Tempest Cleric, and then like this was like purely role playing. It's not like optimized wise, but like I had like a bunch of things with Ares, where Ares like took a liking to me and I have a relationship, and he gave me like a tattoo, and he gave me some of his powers. So then I took a just 1 level, and I'm never gonna do more 1 level of Barbarian.
Uh,
Uh,
So
barbarian,
like I'm basically monk, barbarian, and
barbarian.
cleric. But my main things are monk and cleric, but mainly monk.
Miles the
Because then we
barbarian.
have one paladin and then one bard sorcerer.
why is the name of the stream vibrating? What
That's
the?
crazy.
I tried to put vibrating on a vibrator, but nothing lets you have any fun. Like, it's too whatever for the stream. Like, you guys suck, bro. I can't say the word vibrator. Like, come on, dog.
I'm not gonna lie though, cleric is like really
People can
raw.
show their tits on
Cleric is
stream,
a
but I
raw
can't put
class.
vibrator in the title. Twitch. Sorry.
No, every class I think is fun if you make it that way.
Yeah, very
Gotta,
true.
I never multi-class. I
Oh, you
enjoy
don't?
never multi-class.
I did it
I enjoy.
once. And I
It's
think
kind
I
of
prefer
fun.
I prefer not doing it personally. But one
Yes.
time I did it, but more often than not when I do, because I've done like what 4 campaigns in my life.
Yep.
Usually I don't.
Oh, I didn't know Nye was a D&D guy.
Played it, yeah.
First time I played D&D was like 2012, so like not that shit plus ago.
Okay.
Like, I also played another game. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe if I explain
Probably
it,
Path,
you guys
probably,
remember what?
Pathfinder?
probably Pathfinder.
Pathfinder?
How do you
That's
guys
the
know
name
so
of it?
nerdy? How do
Because
you guys know?
you just most of like that's the main I feel like the main one outside of D&D, and there's other tabletop role playing, like I hear things like Call of the Cthulhu and like stuff like that, but
I
it's
know.
usually Pathfinder.
Okay, I'm just gonna explain it, and if it's Pathfinder, you just tell me to stop. It was like I don't remember if Alan created this world or it was a part of the concept, but it's like some weird realm where as a human, if you get transported into it, you like become like an item in that world, like an ice cube or like wine or like a thing that something that barfs out wine, and when you come back to the real world, you're like some weird abomination. I can't remember.
I do not.
I
What the
can't
fuck?
remember what it was because I remember for me, my character, in that when I got transported to that world before I came back, for some reason I had like unlimited wine I can vomit into the cups of like the elites. So they used to just use me as a wine glass, kind of wine bottle type of thing. My friend was like ice cubes. And when he came back to the real world, he was like perpetually blue and like always cold, but he had frost powers. And like I I like made a
This
joke
sounds
where
really interesting. This actually sounds really interesting.
I,
I have no idea what this is though.
damn. Have any of
He
y'all
said I was a
heard
wine glass.
yeah, I was it was Queen. The wine know me. There you go. I never heard the tale of the old man Henderson. No, never heard of that personally.
The reason why I think multiclassing is just fun because I just think role playing wise, there's just a lot more options.
No, there are things you can do with it. Usually, my characters never go in a direction where they need to multi-class.
Sometimes it just sometimes I just think it's one of those things that depends on what you're doing, what you want. I think
Yeah,
for me,
for sure.
sometimes like the class that I pick, it focuses on what I want to be good at. So I'm okay with like just staying in that realm or whatever. So
You're a monogamous class player. I
Because
get it.
multi-classes in a lot of cases are like people.
excuse me, sir. I am kind of Dawn. I'm kidding. Yeah.
LOL. Usually, what I see from most multi-class things is like character finds faith in a god and they multi-class into cleric or paladin. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think that's
multiclass only because of role
I
playing.
think
Yeah.
you can be a faithful to a god in these games and still be the class that you are. That's usually, and I've done that with plenty of characters.
Yeah, I've always thought like the kind of like being like a warlock that somehow became like a cleric or paladin like an interesting like thought, you know, where it's like you sold your soul, but then maybe the relationship somewhat changes.
Hexblade warlock into paladin multi-class is very common. Like
Yeah,
you'll like
because
speaking of
Hexblade
critical
is
role,
just OD
critical
for
role.
charisma modifier.
It's funny because my
Speaking of
first
critical
two I played as elves, played as a dark
Oh
elf and I
yeah,
played as a
with
regular elf.
Fjord.
with Ford, yeah.
Then it
Mhm.
was a half elfling. I think on three of them I was some type of elf.
This man loves like. What were your
I'm
questions, Onaya?
I'm asking this. Oh yeah, real quick. The first time I played D&D, Alan tried to kill me, bro. In the opening scene, the first time I ever played, bro. I said, "Dog." I said, "Why? Why?" Yeah, I can't remember how. I think I started out in like a pub, and I was asleep, and then someone came to like steal my things. Right? I rolled a 14 and got hit in the arm. I said, "Wait, what? What's going on?" I'm like, "Why are you trying to kill me off rip, bro? My first time playing, I don't like you." That's why I said the next time you're playing, I want to be the game master. But you also gave, you gave it to his inner fraud. Yeah, you did. I'm sorry. Sorry about your lord. Lost. Um. Okay, so I obviously love Vox Machina, like the show, right? I'm not like, yo, it's the greatest show I've ever seen. The animation, the writing, the script. It's just like me and him guy, we watch it, we make jokes, we have fun. Like literally that simple. And me and him are always been like D&D guys and whatnot. So like one of the things that I like about the show's ridiculousness is that sometimes out of nowhere, characters do things that seemingly are kind of random, and sometimes they just do something miraculous in the moment. And I like, generally speaking, this would be something that pisses me off, but I'm like, this is literally like, you probably just rolled a d20 here. That's why all of a sudden the situation just turned around, flipped on its head for you. And here you probably tried to use like your charm and it didn't work. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Right? So I actually kind of like that aspect of it. I almost never know what's gonna happen. But according to you, they don't really follow anything. So like, what are they doing wrong?
I mean,
If you
there's a lot
based on
of.
what you know.
I mean, there's a lot of deviations in terms of like storylines from what I've seen, especially in season two. A lot of the stuff that occurs in there is different. But I mean, a big example of this, I'd say, is Vex's relationship with Zara and the party's entire relationship with Cash and Zara. Because when they go to Vasselheim and they meet them in the Slayer's Take, they don't know in the show they don't know who either of them are. Only Vex does, and she implies some like past history with them. In the game, they
Oxalia.
all in the game the party was split to do missions with them. So a couple of the characters in the party knew, like for instance, when they had to split into two groups to do two jobs for them. Vax and Keyleth were in the same group as Cash, and in that group, they fought like this fiend. It was a Rakshasa that they fought, and by the end of it, Cash had
Rakshasa? I'm sorry.
by the end of it, Cash had kissed Keyleth, and that had caused like some like small but like not really romance plotline there. The same was The same was with Grog, Percy, and Vex, and I think and Scanlan were all with Zara, and they fought a dragon, a white dragon, and this was an interaction they had, and Vex and Zara developed a like very close friendship over that, and that continued through the campaign. In the show, it makes it seem like the Vex and Zara have like a weird frenemy, potentially past lover vibe, which did not exist in any way, shape, or form. And the same is true. It's the red-skinned, white-haired tiefling that helped them in the tomb. You probably don't remember. You probably don't even remember that part, but
With
give
the
me the
one
name again.
white what was it?
Zara?
Zahra.
Zahra. I'm just gonna put the Vox Machina.
Who was already in a previous group. She was with the one white dude.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah.
She's dope. She was sick.
Yeah. She is dope, but she's more.
That's what Osiris. Osiris, my favorite character, is the one who sent them to follow them into the little tomb to get the first vestige. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I like Osiris, bro. I like her, and her husband, her mate, was
you mean
Scanlan. Scanlan. But me and him called that. We called it. We knew it was gonna happen. We're like, you could do all these things, or you can wound me. He's like, we'll try to wound you. Like, that was dumb. I would have not done that. I would have like the dungeon gauntlet, whatever.
Yeah.
But when they all got packed up and Scanlan started playing his song, and he conjured an image of her, and he like, you have wounded my heart. We started dying of laughter. I said, I knew it. Well, he fucking knew it, and then they were vibing. Like, this is the wisest sage I've ever known. They're like, what the fuck? This guy's an idiot. I loved it. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just gotta have fun, man. Sometimes.
I'm saying, like, the things that I see in the show, like, I think a lot of people could think they're good. My thing is that they're substantially less good than they were in the game. Like, for instance, with Kamal Giori, they legit had a whole fight against him, or they had to look into different planes of existence to find they had to figure out what his name was. It was like, you have to earn this knowledge. And they had to look through portals to figure out where everything was. And the way that the fight ended is that they figured out his name and called it out. But during the fight, Grog's sword, the evil one that you've seen a bunch, he went into the airplane to find the letters. In order to escape, he threw the sword connected to a chain out of the portal, and it stabbed into Pike. And that
Sword of Pain goes crazy.
And that fucked him up. Shut up, Miles. Don't bring that up right now.
But it's similar.
And Naya, that fucked him up. And then the next episode, because he refused to use the sword again. The sword fucking killed him in the game, and they had to resurrect him and then remove the sword to another plane of existence to make sure that he was okay. Whereas I think in the show,
he just breaks it. It was really stupid. We criticized that part like openly. We're like, I feel like they could have done something more interesting with that sword, because the sword, it draws when it takes blood, he gets stronger. The sword gets stronger, like I guess it absorbs the iron to make the sword bigger, but it also increases your bloodlust. And Grog is a stupid ass motherfucker, so he can't control that. So
yes,
that is actually far more interesting though. With what happened than what happened.
And he
lost his muscles for a while.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And there's a bunch of changes like that throughout the show. Like Zara is one of them. The way that the dragons act is one of them. Like
Zara, because Vax dies instead. I guess maybe she dies when they get the. I don't know. Maybe this still happens.
Still dies. Vex still dies. But what they do is, this is after the dragons have already attacked, and they go to the take. They talk to Osisa, who's the female Sphinx. Yeah. She doesn't troll them.
Why do you call her Osiris? I don't know why. Osisa, my bad.
She doesn't troll them like in the show. She just actually like imparts them some knowledge, and at the same time, a floating city full of Dragonborn gets destroyed while they're talking to her, and she tells them that this is happening.
She actually just trolled Scanlan. She said, "Nobody cares about you, and I am no different." I said, "That's," and it faded to black. I said, "That's crazy! Oh my god, that's insane." Oh
because
man.
then sent them to go get, or no, they decided to go get the Deathwalker's ward, which is Vex's armor.
Mhm.
They have to go through a dungeon,
I
and
knew
what they
that
have to
shit
do.
was more than just a fucking speed boost. By the way, there was no way the fucking precipice and armor of death and this is. I'm like, bro, there's no way that shit makes you fast. I know it could do more
Or
than that. I know, but we
also,
keep going.
point
Keep
of
going.
order,
Yeah.
in the game, that armor doesn't give you a speed boost. Vax is the reason they gave that to him is because Vax in the game had a pair of boots called Boost of Haste, and it's one of his signature items. Like he used it throughout the entirety of the campaign. That's how he was able to do his like super fast attacks and move around so much. The armor originally, when it gave it to him, it gave him resistance to various damage types and advantage on like death saves. So like it would be very hard to kill him. So it was. I think they had to do it since they didn't give him, and they wanted probably a more distinct visual ability to give him in the show. And the speed thing is signature to him, so like, hey, we'll give him that. And the wings came later too. It didn't occur in the Umbersoul fight, but when they went to go get the armor, they had a fight to get it, and it was against a beholder. So they were fighting like all the laser beam eyes and like the anti magic eye that had. And I think they fought something different in the show. I can't remember if that was the case or not.
In the show, Zara and the guy that they come in the tomb with betrays them. She releases some one-eyed monster that can Medusa people. But while it's
Okay.
happening, he's having premonitions of I believe the previous wearer of the I almost call it the height of bondage, but
Yeah.
the whatever the vestige, and he
Yeah.
had to like beat him in his mind to like wear it and become the new champion, and
Yeah.
then
That did. Yeah.
Reversal.
That was not the case because he's
what?
given. Yeah, that was not the case in the game. In the game, what he does is that when Vex gets killed when they're trying to open up the armor after they fight the Beholder, Vex says, "Take my life instead of hers." And the Raven Queen in turn says, "Like you're going to be my champion then," because Vex is something
Well,
called
that
Fate
that
Touch.
does still happen. He does say, "Take
Right.
me instead of her," and then like the weird string that was attached to him becomes attached to the
The
masked. I can't remember her name right now. What's her name?
Raven Queen.
Matron
Yeah,
of Ravens.
Yeah,
Matron of Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ancient Ravens is her title. Raven Queen is her actual like name.
yeah.
I was
Um,
gonna I was gonna ask you, Glam. Have you seen any of like the best? Like, I was gonna ask, what do you think of like the changes and like in the vestiges in the show? If you've seen like
I do
all
not.
of them or
I do.
not?
I do not like what they've done with Myth Carver. Because there's another change with Kamal Giori. When they get Kamal Giori's name, he tells them where all the other vestiges that they need to get are and what their names are. He doesn't tell them their abilities, and
Wait,
he only
who?
gives them like justifications. But like, hey, you beat
Wait,
me in
who?
this test. The male Sphinx. He tells them this. Like he's
Okay,
like, you
but
beat me in
he's
this test.
dead.
Yeah, he's not dead in the game. That motherfucker's still alive because
I knew he
the
wasn't
other
meant to.
issue.
I knew he was a real G. I knew he was meant to die in the canon. He's not dead.
Yeah, because
Go ahead though.
in the same way, Umbrasyl, the Black Dragon, is not that major of a villain in comparison to the show than what he is in the game.
All right,
Umbrasyl's only a villain in Western, fighting him in that town. He's not flying around gathering vestiges like he is in the show.
interesting.
So like yeah, Kamal Giori, like he tells them, like all these vestiges are here, so you have to
Umbrasyl.
go and find them. The only ones that they have, and he gives them Mythcarver, and Mythcarver isn't like this thing that tells you about other myths. What it does is that it buffs all of Scanlan's bardic abilities and also has like constantly vibrating and like has sonic.
He does technically give it to Scanlan. The dragon just takes it
Yeah,
after though. But yeah.
yeah, that number never happens. Scanlan just has it the whole time, and
Scanlan does.
Scanlan got it back in the end and killed him with it. The dragon, the acid
yeah,
Yeah.
dragon. Sorry,
that's
I basically describe the dragons by their element. So there's the ice one, there's the leader fire, big man on campus. There's the girl,
I mean,
there's the one
basically,
female
it's
one.
kind of
There's the
kind of
early, there's the early one, and then there's this guy. Look, this one to me is the Loki the most dangerous. Like acid. Oh my god,
yeah.
I'm scared, bro.
Black dragons are the only.
Disintegrating niggas.
Yeah, black dragons are the only ones that have acid too. There's no metallics that have that, but like when they fight Umbrasyl, for instance, they don't have Vex's bow when they fight him in the game. They only have Grog's, and then they only have Vax's armor, which at the time didn't have wings. They have Scanlan's sword and then Grog's knuckles. And Grog's the one that actually kills the dragon in the game. Scanlan doesn't. I can understand why they changed it narratively, considering what they were going for with like him taking the vestiges and Kamal Ray, but that's like it's a drastic departure.
Does he go against? Does he go? Does he go against the herd of storms in
Yes,
Okay, so
Happens.
like his uncle is actually like the guy with the messages before and
With-
everything.
Yes.
I feel like the thing with his like cousin or brother or the guy that he grew up with probably was a bigger deal in that. It felt like that's a storyline that maybe could have meant more, but it kind of just I don't know though. I could be
In
wrong.
the total campaign, it was because there's a lot of that campaign that wasn't streamed. Like you're getting portions of it that were streamed,
Mhm.
and Zanror had been a thing that had come up with the party before the stream had began. So they had seen him again, and he had told Kevdak that he was still alive because they thought Grog was dead.
Mhm.
But Zanror, like, he's not really that important because he doesn't really come into the plot again in the stream until after Kevdak's dead, and by that time he's like, hey, the herd's been fucking sitting around doing all this bullshit that we shouldn't be doing, and we should be fighting the dragon instead of helping it. And the only other side plot that it had was that he had a wife who had a kid who might be in the show. I don't recall that.
Grog?
No, Zanror, who was his
Oh,
cousin.
okay. The point he took. Oh, okay, interesting. Sorry, Miles. I feel like you're trying to say something. I don't know if I cut you off.
Was it about to? I was gonna say, yeah, this was going back to the myth carver. They don't. Scanlan doesn't use myth carver much in the actual thing, right?
No, he does not. He doesn't use it very much in the actual campaign.
Okay.
That's mainly because
Okay.
that's playstyle thing. Because bards are really
Yeah.
they're really not melee characters unless you're playing College of Whispers and Scanlan's College of Lore.
Or
So
College of Swords.
yeah, and yeah, College of Swords too. But that's it.
I do think I do like even though whether or not Scanlan killing him should have been a thing. I do think it was cool they used Myth Carver as like what is it like a tuning fork
It was like a
where
tuning
yeah
like the other, but yeah, because they
yeah
go to the Feywild later. Like there's another thing that occurs where that Rakshasa that Vax killed, because this is another thing that wouldn't have worked because of the way that the show was set up. The Rakshasa that they killed when they had done like that job with him and Keyleth, Vax kills the Rakshasa. And what the Rakshasa does is that if somebody kills it, it goes back to its home plane, reconstitutes, and then its only purpose is to seek out the person that killed it and then kill them. So what happens is that they're chilling in Whitestone after they kill the Black Dragon. The Rakshasa pulls up disguised as Gilmore, tries to murder Vax, and then they kill him again. And during the fight, Vax's armor levels up, and then the real Gilmore shows him, hey, this is how you get the wings now and you can fly.
So he just asked him. He just asked the matron for help. It's like, I hear some
Yeah.
wings, nigga.
Yeah, because in the game, when he asks him, hey, I need help, give me your wings, what happens on the same term, Grog and Scanlan are out of the dragon. Scanlan turns Grog into an eagle, and then Grog grabs Vax as he's falling while there are like raven feathers trailing from behind him.
Nah, okay. And in this one, they went up his ass.
It's very literal. Yeah, they still went inside of him. They did not go in through his asshole though. They just teleported in there.
Okay. I want to say though, because the problem was the acid. It's not really getting in. It's acid. Like there's just no like. I was like, what was acid? What if he shits acid? You don't know. I'm
Yep.
not going in here. I'm not going in there. I'll deal with the fire, the ice. I'm not going in no acid, bro. You could
The
nothing.
only
You could.
other one
I was
really
not fighting. I was not fighting that nigga. I'll fight any other dragon, bro. Not this one. He's flying and he's just spraying acid rain like I'm dead. I'm melting. I'm not fighting this.
Yeah, it's a similar way with what was the other? There was another big difference too that I can't.
I actually have a season 1 question after that but we
Well, yeah,
can.
I was actually going to bring Percy's friend, the dwarf friend that he has in season 1, does not exist. That motherfucker is not in the game.
Okay. What I was gonna ask about Percy. Percy's a white hair dude with the gun and shit, right?
My favorite
from
From
character,
Whitestone.
Frodo.
From Whitestone. From
my
Whitestone. He's the
favorite,
Yeah.
my favorite character in the entirety of Critical Role. My favorite.
Really?
That is not.
I have this inclination in my head that he's supposed to be my favorite, and I kind of like what we're doing with the first season, but I think he's such a waste in the second season. He does nothing. His gun is useless. He got a stupid little I charge my hand electricity thing, and he kind of got Vax killed, I suppose, and he's just kind of around. And I'm just like, what happened to his whole swag? Like you'll get that fucking demon back, bro. Like you are not get that crow demon or whatever it was haunting you back because
Yeah,
you're just not raw right
but
now. Like I
because
have this
main
feeling
thing,
like I'm supposed to like him the most, but like every time I see him, like he's actually a waste you. Like I don't rate him.
the main thing that he's supposed to be doing in season 2 is kind of just like he plays support a little bit, because at that moment in time in the story, it's Vax and Grog time. Because
Mhm.
the most that you're going to get from him in season 2 that they should have done is when they're in the Feywild. because in the game they're in the Feywild for five whole sessions, and I think in the show they're only in there for like one.
I want to say one episode that carries over a little bit to another one, but maybe just one. Maybe might just been one.
And the most that he gets in that period is like giving Vex his title, which is what truly begins their romance. But it had been sort of building for a little bit before then.
Do
Yeah.
they do
It's also one of those things about D&D Naya too, where it's like he did have his whole campaign in like Whitestone, so it's like, oh, we
That-
should give time to the others.
He also didn't lose his hand in that either. He actually had a gauntlet that could do the electricity shocking thing that he had. It wasn't like I blow my hand up and then install something.
Wait, he has one hand?
Yeah, because
No.
remember when he shot the bullet through it in the show, and then he had to replace it with like that little gem thing on his hand.
Okay, fair enough.
That doesn't
Okay.
happen in the game. He just both hands.
I don't know. I don't rate him in the show. I don't, but I want to like
He's
him.
He's the
Who's your
goat.
least favorite character, Glam?
My least favorite character
Yeah,
from campaign 1 or just in total?
both, I guess.
Campaign 1, Vox Machina.
Campaign
Don't
1.
talk about anybody else. I'm gonna watch it when I see it.
Campaign 1 is probably Pike, but that's because Ashley wasn't around very often because she was filming, like the actress.
Oh yeah,
She was
yeah.
filming
No.
Blind Spot, which was the show on ABC at the time. So just Pike wasn't around very often.
So I don't think she was living in LA either at that time.
No, she had to fly back.
Pike, yeah, Pike is not what I would dislike Pike, but I can't say Pike's one of my favorites. It's still the Sphinx, the female Sphinx, still the goat. Then it's I want to say Scanlan probably. I think I might be forgetting somebody.
I'll say Sam Riegel as the player of Scanlan and those other two characters. The man is one of the best
Love
D&D.
Sam Riegel. I love Sam.
He's one of the best D&D players I have ever fucking seen. Like this, in
He's
terms of play,
goated.
but absolutely goated, and I love Scanlan. Scanlan's my second favorite character from this campaign 1 and just in total.
Do you
for the
actually have a
series.
daughter? Like a daughter you didn't know about?
Yes, he does. Kaylee's
so-
there. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because that happened. I'm like, I'm like, we
I've
believe it.
seen-
You've been slinging meat, bro. Definitely, he got like one or two out there.
That was actually a
Sam's
huge hit.
just funny. Like I don't know how to play, but it's like you know how to play better than
Yeah,
most.
that campaign for all the players was the first time for I think all of them except Taliesin, who played Percy. That was it. Everybody else was a
Yeah.
rookie.
Yeah.
So
But Matt was
I
very
don't know if they're fraternal twins or not, but you know, Vex and Vax, do they actually have a really testy relationship with their dad? Like they don't get along?
Yes.
Is he a more interesting character? And is there a reason for this? Like he just seems like a kind of a dickhead for dickhead's sake. Is it because his wife passed or something, or like was there like
It was
deep reasoning?
he was dickhead for dickhead's sake. He wasn't like that interesting.
She's like, oh, Naya, come on.
I think he's a little bit nicer in the game. Like he's still kind of an asshole, but like
I
cares about that.
couldn't understand what his deal was. It's like, what is up? What like why are you just so upset? Is this elf culture? Like like why?
Hiles, bro. Hiles
Supposed
sucks.
to come off like they're half elves, so they're lesser than, and they can affect my position in the city type shit. I think it's what it's supposed to. But I'm not 100% certain on that.
I thought he was doing too
You know
much.
how it is.
Or are you
You know
gonna?
how it is.
No.
I'm not saying I don't know what it is. I thought he was doing too much, or just like, what is up with
Yeah.
him? Like, I would just fold him. Honestly, on God, I just fold him.
Would you know?
What
Naya,
were you
I would.
you would definitely be a barbarian for sure.
No, I wouldn't, bro.
What were you gonna ask about the first season now?
Did the stuff with Percy did they follow that like well or no? Because it was way different in the campaign. Like
I think it's
I think there was the vampire and there's the guy who had the sword that Grog had that absorbs blood or something, and they like took over a White Castle and his sister. He thought his sister was dead or something, but she wasn't.
Like,
What?
You said White Castle.
So wait, White Castle, whatever. I don't know. What's the place called? Whitestone.
That's
Whitestone.
a
Whitestone.
restaurant.
Whitestone.
White
Whitestone.
Castle
Whitestone.
is a restaurant, bro.
Oh shoot! I'm thinking of that movie.
He said White
with
Harold Gilmore go to White Castle.
there you go. Yeah, no, Whitestone. I'm sorry, guys.
That was fine.
That White Castle. I said what?
So far, that was adapted better than the Chroma Conclave stuff is that I think the thing that was the most egregious change is like Percy's dwarf friend who didn't exist in the game, and also Scanlan's solo mission. Completely different order of operations for when that went down in the show than it was in the game. In the game, the man he goes up to the house as a dragonfly, sees guards there, turns into a triceratops and just charges in, and then mows down people. He gets turned back into Scanlan, thunder waves some people, teleports away, goes up to the roof, takes the potion of fire breathing, has the duel with the dude up top where he throws him off the roof. He just completely gets him out of there. He doesn't even take a lot of damage either. He just gets him out of there. And then he breathes fire into the building, setting it on fire, and then dips. And it was one of the greatest clutch moves I have ever fucking seen. And in the show, he's like mooning around. Like in the game, it was a much more tense situation, but it was incredible to watch. In the show, they made a lot more like I don't know. It was a lot more memey. It was the best way I can describe it is like One Piece epicness for a lot of like it's jokey, which is not the case in the game. It was one of the best moments in the entirety of the arc when Scanlan did that in the game. I'm thinking the show it's substantially kind of low key ruined by the way that
is that when he rides the fuck you finger? I thought it was real. I like that part still.
yeah.
Breathing fire would
really
be cool though. But yeah.
Yeah.
I like Scanlan. That's my guy. Bard life. We out here. I
Pers-
like the I'm gonna remember this. She's damn it. What they call a fire Ashanti? I don't remember it. That's crazy.
right?
Fire
Keyleth?
something. Keyleth, yeah. She's busted. What the fuck? She's so
Yeah,
strong.
she's a fucking druid, bro.
She's so goddamn strong. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy.
You ain't seen nothing yet for what she's got.
Wild shapes, man.
Like yeah, druids in like the actual campaign. Druids are disgustingly powerful for what they can do. And like the actual games, like certain clerics can get like this as well, but druids.
She damn near she's shifting planes. I'm like, yo,
Yep.
she turned into this big infernal monster. I said, dog, she's every time
Yep.
she has something crazy happens and she does something crazy. I'm like, son, why is she a waste you half the time? Like I'm tired of this, but we'll be role related. Keep talking. I'm just gonna pee real quick. But yeah, keep going.
Because like Keyleth's a character that not a lot of people liked when the game was happening. That's because she was so unsure of herself and her place and was idealistic and had all these things that she wanted to do but couldn't have the confidence to get and all sorts of stuff. But by the end of the campaign, Keyleth is one of my favorite characters. By the end of it, and I think that's partially because Marisha played her so well. Because when she finishes, because Miles, you know this because you've probably seen the entirety of campaign one.
I actually haven't seen the entire. I haven't like. I have to do the due diligence to actually watch the campaigns all the way through. I haven't done that.
Because I mean, have you seen her finish her Aramente yet?
I actually don't. Like I haven't like I try to avoid like the very end of most of them because I've seen like I've like do like a lot of the meaty stuff. I'll just like randomly go and click and watch stuff in the campaigns and stuff. So like I know like general stuff. But
Yeah.
I do know she's disgustingly powerful, and I've seen a few of like the battle royales and like the team versus team ones,
Yes.
and it's just kind of like the first one where it's just like they didn't fight. It's like you guys have to fight the archdruid first, like you literally have to,
Yes.
or it's over.
Yeah. Like
So it's
recently,
just one of those things.
campaign 3, Matt's finally taken the leash off of himself because for a long time
Scotland!
he didn't want to bring back characters from previous campaigns and put him in a new one. Campaign 3 is he couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, he's doing it. Yeah.
Campaign like a fucking who's coming into the story next that was a player character from a previous campaign, and Keyleth has been very prevalent in it. But like she had to get an 8th level spell put on her and a level like 17 fighter double teaming her for her to even be remotely like
Occupied.
she was nearly killed in the moment because she was stunned and the fighter action surged to attack her. But if that hadn't had happened, boy, the Keyleth would have gone crazy. Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
but I'll say by the time she finishes her Aramente, she really like her whole arc is like coming into her own as like a leader of her people.
Yeah, she's not done in the show yet. She has to do. She
Yeah.
Avatar out here at the master the elements, but yeah, she got to do her
Yeah.
Armente.
What I was saying now is that she's not very well liked prior to that, and Marisha as well, like as an actress at that point, because both of them were new to the game, and Marisha had a habit of like forgetting spells that she would make, so Keyleth would be prone to making mistakes a lot in the campaign because managing druid spells is very fucking complicated because you get a lot of them thrown at you at once. So it was like a whole arc of learning how to like control her abilities and forget what she was doing as like a leader and a person. By the time she finishes that part of her story, I actually think she's very impressively well done. Like I like Keyleth a lot by the time like the campaign's done. But he doesn't really have a lot going on. Okay, I'll say this: you're going to get a lot more Keyleth in season 3,
That's
like
good.
very,
That's
very
good.
heavily.
I don't like I liked her personality. I'm just like, why don't you do these fucking spells like all the time?
Yep. But
Like you
actually,
come
that's the
clutch. You're
big,
fucking broken. Oh my
that's
goodness.
the big thing too. Her relationship with Vax in the game and the show is very different. There's definitely a love interest, and it's one of the better romances, I'd say. But in the game, by the time you're at by the time where season 2 is at right now in the show, in the game, they were like a pinky toe away from just being a confirmed couple by this moment in time. In the show, that's not the case at all. Like, I don't even think they've kissed in the show yet, right?
No, he was, and she actually, I remember I was like, no, not like this. She actually summoned up
Yep.
the courage to ask him to dance, and he's like another time, and he walks away
Yep.
because the matron was calling him. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
come
that is not the
on.
case. That is
Cock
not the case.
block.
Yeah,
Cock
because
block.
in the Briarwood shit, when he says, I love you, right? He straight up kisses her in the campaign. Like, he just straight up kissed her. And there was a whole thing of she didn't, at first, she was unsure of what she wanted to do because she had a whole hiccup about how old she would be when she completed her journey and she would outlive him. And she didn't know like it was right to do that and outlast him and have a relationship with him. At a certain point, then she sort of said, fuck that. I love you too much. So we're going to do it anyways. And they were getting very physical with each other. They spent time with each other. And at one point, after Vax had got the armor, he spent a night with her. They didn't like do anything sexual, but he's like, I can't be alone right now, and I want to be with you. And it was a big deal when the game was happening, and that hasn't. I don't. They haven't even kissed in the show, and I think
No,
it's
they're dragging. They're dragging
yeah.
it.
That's one of the big things too.
They're
Is like you
cheesing me, dog.
guys are getting cucked out of good shit in the show
I'm actually
for
starting my
whatever.
first campaign in 2 weeks. Do you guys have any advice, tips for a new player? I've been watching videos since you started. I don't know. I just dived in without knowing anything and just learned. I just have fun. I don't think it's that deep.
I watch videos before, like, because I already kind of like just like watching. So like, I would just say that's not like I just watch and just research. I would just say just
Just have
it's one
fun.
of those things of just enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I
Go
to
with
me,
go with
I
the
think
flow
role
of
playing takes
go with the flow of the
priority.
don't
Yeah.
like if there are moments in time where you have questions for the DM, ask the questions and then go accordingly. There's certain because this is another thing too. The DM's word is not always law. Bad DMs do exist. They're
Yeah.
all bad players do exist, but bad DMs do exist too. And at the end of the day, learning how to play the game largely depends on what class you're trying to play.
Also,
And then
you guys should have a session 0 to work out
yeah,
kinks too before you get into the actual thing. Like, ask for a session
Yeah.
0 so you can like ask
Unlike
questions and just
Alan, who
like
tried to kill
get
me
in,
the first five
get
minutes I ever
into.
played a D&D game in my life. I,
Yeah, like
yep.
I'm
for
down,
sure.
I damn near died. I was like, I had like 2 HP left.
Oh, you just had a session 0? Then yeah, I would just say, are you martial or caster? Because if it's martial, it's gonna be a lot easier.
Oh man.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
Glenn, I do have two quick questions.
What's up?
One, what's your favorite race? And then two, and Legend of Dritz takes place in the Forgotten Realms, which is like also based in
Caster
D&D,
Warlock.
right? What class is Dritz?
Forgotten Realms is the primary D&D verse, so it's
Okay.
and Dritz is he's always described as a ranger, but the way his abilities work, he's really more of a fighter that has ranger like proficiencies is really what he is, but he's technically described as a ranger, but
Mm.
he's really not, especially based on like current rule sets. He's 100% more of a fighter now. Favorite race to play? I mean, Drow is definitely up there for me, but
Yep.
Of course,
Go.
of course.
I have a fondness for
I like
Loxodon,
Rogue.
which
I
are
like Rogue too. I like playing Rogue.
I have a fondness for Loxodons, which are elephant people. Like they're actually pretty fun to play, especially if you play clerics or druids.
I've never heard of that race before. Interesting.
The human is actually very fun to play,
They
especially
are.
if you go variant, just in terms of like a gameplay sense. Because
Ye- I
yeah,
do
it's
wish there was more things with just getting feats early on. Because I do
yes,
think it's weird that variant human's the only one that just starts off with a feat.
I've
I
never,
kind of
I've
always
never,
just like
I've
the
never played
idea
as a
like
human yet.
I
Human,
always just like the idea you get one.
ironically, I'm usually the guy that hates playing. Like Human is actually fun to play, but I like playing a lot of the races. Like the only one that I haven't played that was in like Elemental Evils Companions, which was an original supplement for it, where you got a bunch of races. It's a race of bird people called Arakakras, where
Those are raw.
where you can actually like fly around. But I've played them.
Oh,
But I've played like every class I've played, and there's certain subclasses that are fun. There's certain ones that are not. Like Artificer is the one that I have the least experience with, but that's because it's the newest one. But yeah,
Scope
Rogue?
said he's a warlock.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Well then, okay. Then the next thing, what pact are you? Because that's
I never pick magic niggas.
Yeah.
I hate magic.
never.
What's your subclass, Rogue? Or Scope? I'm sorry. And I I was gonna say, wait, have you seen EXU Calamity? Glam?
Huh?
Have
Oh,
you
yeah,
watched
I've-
EXU
Fiend,
Calamity?
yes, Fiend
I
pack.
I have no interest in those.
Oh, okay.
Even I mean, technically with campaign 3, I mean, because campaign 2, I have issues with the end of it, especially with the way that they had like, oh, it's our 2 years later epilogue that we said we weren't going to do because of a pride thing, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. Like with campaign 3, I think campaign 3 is cooking right now, but I skipped 35 episodes in to get to a certain moment where I knew that they would start cooking. Otherwise,
Gotcha.
like
You're a part skipper. Look at this guy. He don't know nothing.
for like yes, for
He
some of
started.
it, like
He
I'll
started. He
say
started in part 5. Nah, bro.
I'll say like with campaign 3's
Fake
party,
fan. Fake fan.
very
Fake.
very fun, very fun,
Phony.
especially
Fraud.
Laura's character is great.
Laudna.
No, that's Marisha's. Laura's character is Imogen.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Imogen. She's
Imogen
yeah.
has goat
Okay.
potential, big goat potential. For
Does she
Imogen.
really?
Yes.
I haven't kept too much track of
But
season
my
3.
in that party is Travis's, and I love Travis as a player.
Oh,
He's just,
Chetney.
yeah, the man, because this is Grog's actor for anybody like the variations played in all 3 campaigns are drastically different. Like what
Yes.
he does comparison to campaign 2 with Ford to now 3 with Chetney is so drastically different from Grog, and it really shows the man's range as an actor.
I like him also because you can tell like he really like he's primary here for fun, and like he takes shit on the chin, which I appreciate.
Like
I have
after a
wait,
certain point,
I have a question after you guys are done with
What's
this. Let's go finish your
What's up?
little finish with your thing.
I
I
was just say
forget.
like out of all the players in the campaign, I think Travis was the one initially when I had watched the show that I didn't expect to become that invested story wise, but there came a certain point I think during campaign 1 when Matt sort of brought his storyline in with the Herd of Storms that he didn't expect to happen. And Travis it just opened a whole new world for him. We just started caring about. He was all up in the story stuff, and you especially see it in campaign 2, and even more so in campaign 3. The man is out here, and I'd love to see it. What were you gonna ask, Naya?
That's crazy. So I would forget. I'm so trash. Yo, you talked about the Oscars. The Oscars happened.
Yes, they did.
No, we're not going to talk about him.
I don't know if anything happened. I didn't know that happened. Shifudo. Damn it. I had a question
We were
about
talking about Travis as an actor.
Oh yes. Okay. So yes, thank you. So when it comes to like the D&D campaign of Critical Role and stuff, because you're talking about actors and voice acting stuff like that, like they're not just literally just playing on stream.
They are playing.
They just are playing on stream. Yeah.
Like the way.
But they're like are they like in character and like using voices and stuff like that too? Okay, that's pretty cool. Because I think I was just online right now, just kind of looking at stuff, and I see like comics. So I was wondering if like, those comics were like somehow incorporated into like the campaign that they were showing stuff like that too. So because
originally,
I really don't want to sit through fucking hours of them playing D&D, but I'd like to like get a abridged.
When I tell you some of the most fun I have ever had in my entire life watching this shit, it's
not a like it's a time thing, brother.
I know I got you.
It's one of those things. I think it's also one of those things. It's easy also to put in the background too.
Okay, that's fair.
Like you don't have to actively watch
stare at it and listen to every.
Because a lot of the D&D stuff I watch, I do in the background. Even though some of the stuff I do is like listen to is like audio, but like
they also have the campaigns in podcast form now. I believe
it's not necessarily that. It's not necessarily that. I guess I'm just curious to see like this and all. There's like a.
Well, I'll say
like if the comics followed it well, I would have.
I mean, yeah, a lot. Well, originally with the game, like what it originally was that Matthew Mercer, the dungeon master, was like, "Hey, I'm going to organize a D&D game from all my friends," and like these, it's actually kind of crazy. But like these are all very notable voice actors in this group, and they are friends with other notable ones too.
Yeah,
like They're just real life friends. And Matt's like, okay,
Did-
I'm gonna organize a game.
Did they get any of the voice actors on the show or no?
I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
yeah,
all they all do the actual voices in the show.
Oh, I actually
the
didn't.
ones that
players,
played in
I
it.
actually didn't know that. Because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
girl
all
who
the
plays
players,
Keyleth, I didn't check the voice actors. I really didn't. I was supposed to. The girl who plays
yeah,
Keyleth actually sounded to me a lot like Korra. That's why I was like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
is this
Oh,
no,
Korra's voice
they're
actor?
all. Yeah, they're all the ones. And if you didn't know this, the person that plays Pike, she's Ellie. She's the one that did Ellie in
yeah,
Last of
like,
Us.
Oh, that's what's up.
And another cool thing was Laura and Travis. They're married,
yes,
and one of the most recent Superman. I don't know if it was a movie or show. He voice acted Superman, and she voice acted Lois Lane.
yeah. It's the
What
same
in
way.
what
Like,
in Man of Tomorrow?
hmm That's Travis Willing. That's the guy who plays Grog.
I don't think it's in Man of Tomorrow, but I think it's in another one where he plays him because it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I know it's recent. It was like late last year. So whatever the
Yeah, it's
new
definitely
bad
Man.
Superman thing was, him and his
Like,
wife Laura. Laura plays Vex, the
so,
half
so the
elf.
whole point is like these are all voice actors that did this, and Matt's like, okay, I'm just gonna play a game with them, and it was a home game that they had for like 3 years. And then at a certain point, they were approached by a company, or I think either Matt approached them or a company approached them by the name of Geek and Sundry, and they said, "Hey, let's stream this." And then we just went off from there when the campaign, like, because it became one campaign, it was so successful, and then campaign 2 happened. Then eventually they split off from Geek and Sundry and made it its own thing under Critical Role. It's like its own, I think it's LLC right now because I think they're all like
Yeah, it
creatively.
is.
And since then, it's had massive popularity, and it was a big indicator when they had the um, not GoFundMe, but the fundraiser for the Legend of Vox Machina. They had the goal of
he was in Avengers Assemble. Not bad.
yeah, he's Thor, and
World
then
of
Laura's
Warcraft. He was Superman and Batman's Battle of the Super Sons. I didn't watch that.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
I am not.
um,
I am not watching this.
but by like the time that they had the fundraiser for the show, it was a real good barometer of how popular it was because they had only expected to raise a couple $100,000, and on like the
Mhm.
first
He's in
or
Mass
with
Effect. He's Wilson Fisk in the Spider-Man Miles Morales.
yep,
He's Cannonball.
yep,
Sidney Crab. No, he done some stuff. So he's in
Oh,
Psychonauts.
he's
Not bad.
Cannonball.
Not bad at all. He's
I can
somebody.
actually see that.
It just
Oh, I
says
didn't even know
voice. It just
that.
says Overwatch 2 voice. I mean, he's a
all
narrator. Like, who is he?
here's a good indication for y'all. He plays Roy Mustang in the Full Metal Alchemist stuff.
That is true. I
I
did
don't
know
think I
that.
watched that in English,
thi-
really.
I think
So I
Laura
watched it in
plays it. I
Japanese.
think Laura plays Envy too.
He plays Envy. Yes, she does.
Oh,
It's
there
same
you
like
go.
for anime people. Matthew Mercer is Trafalgar Law in the One Piece dub. Um, Liam O'Brien, who plays Vax, is Gara in the Naruto
Liam
dub.
O'Brien. I know that name. That name I know.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is Gar. Yeah, he is. Yeah, you're right.
Ashley Johnson is Ellie from Last of Us. Taliesin
Yeah, because
Jaffe.
it's actually very. He actually has a very easily identifiable voice because it has that weird like slow like grainy like I can't explain it like like he doesn't he sounds like Gara. His cadence of speech
Mm-hmm.
isn't the exact same, but he sounds exactly like Gara to me. That
Like
one was
Taliesin,
obvious.
he's played what's his big one? Because he's played. I know in the One Piece dub, he played Basil Hawkins in the one in the One Piece dub.
I don't know what he sounds like in English, so
I can't remember what he's played. He hasn't really been in a lot of stuff, but he's very good actor. But what was the other one? Oh, Sam he's mainly a producer type guy, but he's been in a couple things before.
Yeah, Sam has an Emmy.
Yes, Sam does have an Emmy. What was the other one? And Marisha, I don't think has really had very many notable roles voice acting wise, but she's been like
Laura
more of
Bailey's
like
in this. What's up?
Laura's
Yeah,
Vex.
yeah, she's Vex.
Oh, there you
She's
go.
Travis's wife.
Yeah, that's Travis's wife. The woman, Marisha Ray, who plays Keyleth, that's Matthew Mercer's wife. And everybody else is like married to other people.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Naya, the person who plays Zara in the show,
Joe
Mary
Malinganilla, isn't this the guy who played Deathstroke?
Yes, he is. He played Ark in the Cruel. And,
I thought he was a guy who like literally played him in DC. Never mind.
no, he was a guest character on the show in the first campaign.
Okay.
It's the same with like the person who played Zara. Like Zara was a guest character that another person played on the show. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn played her, and she's Steve Bloom's wife.
Oh wow.
And like you, for instance, there'll be
Wall, Twiggy.
Yep, that's Daredevil Karen Page / True Blood. She played a
There we
character in
go.
Campaign
I'm
2.
like, I'm like, why does his face look familiar? There you go.
Yep. She played a character in Campaign 2 named Twiggy.
Yeah.
Yep. Darren DePaul, the voice actor for Reinhardt from Overwatch, he played one of the best guest characters on the show, Sprig.
I wouldn't know him based off Overwatch. I don't play Overwatch like that.
Yeah.
I said like that. I don't play Overwatch, so I wouldn't know.
Will Wheaton was a guest character on there at one point.
I don't like him. I can't stand that nigga. He's a fucking loser. But shout out to him.
Why does it sound so familiar? Who the fuck is Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton
he was an annoying character that always came on fucking Big Bang Theory, and that like him and Sheldon had something. But he's also just insufferably like progressive and annoying, and one of those white guilt, white savior type. I'm like, ugh, shut up, bro. I'm bad for being white and having testosterone in my ass. Like, just go sit in the corner. No one cares about you.
He was also his original thing was that he was the son of Wesley Crusher on Star Trek Next Generation.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, he was Star Trek thing. That was the big deal. But yeah, he was like this reoccurring character that came every once in a while on Big Bang Theory because I used to watch that. But yeah,
yeah, the rivalry.
It's not a good show. I used to watch it though. It was the first live action show I ever watched that actually like talked about comics and shit. I'm like, oh, kind of throw it on every once in a while. But I also always like Kaylee Kuko. Like I just like her. I like looking at her. So that's the reason why I watch the show.
Who's another big? Oh, Tari Payton, the voice actor for Cyborg.
He's every single black character in DCS.
Yes, he plays Sovereign Uriel in the show.
It's annoying because he doesn't even vary his voice. He sounds the same.
No.
Like, bro.
He's a very prominent.
He doesn't change it up. I'll hear Aqualad talk, a Cyborg talk. I'll hear friggin' I'm forgetting somebody else from the new season who they added. I can't remember who it was. But then there we go, Black Lightning, random black civilian. Like this is all the same dude, bro.
Yep. He played a guest character that recurred in Campaign 2 that was a human cleric who was actually pretty cool.
Well, what about there's this old bitch that helped in Whitestone.
Keeper Yenin.
And but she's like half dragon or actually a dragon. Is that like in the thing too, or just some
okay? So I'll explain that to the different. Okay, that's very different. For one, Keeper Yenin in the game is a man and is not as important in the game as she was in the show. She was just
swap.
He was just a priest that Percy knew in his youth that helped spark the resistance to fight back the vampires. Like he was just part of that after Vox Machina came in, because they technically started the resistance. There was no resistance in the game until Vox Machina came in. So that was a complete departure from what it was in season 1. In terms of like the dragon character that's disguised as Keeper Yenin, that's Raishan, who is the green dragon that attacked Iman. And Raishan in the game took the disguise of a character that was on the console. It was a halfling spy master named Assume, who's much less important in the show. It's still the same role. They just kind of changed the characters. But Raishan is a character that has a lot of connectivity to Keyleth in particular. So that's where you're going to get a lot of shit with her, which I don't know if they revealed what her primarily goal or primary interaction was with Keyleth prior to this in the show yet. It was revealed in the game way before this, but it was a different thing. So you'll see what it is.
Okay. I was wondering because I thought that bitch was more important than she was letting herself out to be. But I'm like, you're this important? I don't know about that. I said, I don't know about that.
It's just the dragon taking on a form of her, because Raishan, other than being a dragon, is also a very, very, very powerful wizard.
Okay. You said join the stream and instant middle finger. This is crazy. Hey man, I gotta throw flip the bird sometimes. I think that was the last thing.
Blue Dragon's out.
I think.
Yeah, Brimscythe was a villain that happened off stream. So when you got that first 2 episodes in the show,
I was gonna say that the first dragon they beat, that was the human.
Yeah, it's
transform.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was weaker. He was weaker than the Conclave niggas though, isn't he?
He's an adult dragon, right? While the Conclave is ancient dragons.
I don't know if Matt's ever confirmed this. He was either young or he was adult. All the Conclave are ancient, which is
So they're just way older
and they could
stronger.
actually cast spells like healing and turn invisible and stuff like that too. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
in the thing because when
Umbrasyl,
the acid dragon turned invisible, I honestly would have just pieced out. Like, nah, I'm not doing this.
yeah, the
I don't know
he could
where
turn.
that acid's coming from. No, sorry, Bob. I'm not fighting this one. I will fight every other dragon. I'm not even saying I'm gonna win. I'm not afraid of fire, ice, lightning, the same way that acid is scared me in my booth. I'm
Nah.
not fighting acid, bro. I'm not dealing with that.
Well, when I see an
Give
ancient
me a
dragon, I'm out.
magma breathing dragon before I gotta deal with acid, bro.
Hey man, once you see this green bitch start shooting poison gas out of her mouth, it's gonna be another one.
Because
Okay,
Glam,
poison gas is dangerous too. I don't want that either. Add that to the list.
Glam, was it
Poison
against
gas? No.
Was it against Umbrasyl the first time they fought when Travis was like, there's like a 19 or like 21, or I think it was like,
No,
there's a 21 hit, and he's
was-
like, no. And he's like,
no,
what?
that's another big change as well. When they fight Voragal,
There you go.
which is like they have a brief skirmish with him in the show. That's the white dragon, the cold one. They have a very in the game. They have an extended fight with him, and he only leaves because Thordak throws his body off of their keep and says, "Get the fuck out of here! This is my territory. You have other shit to do." That's the only reason that they get him out of there because they're fighting him and like 21 doesn't hit. They're like, oh my god, we cannot fucking beat this guy.
No, it's
Like
not a
when
season review. We're just talking in general. Don't worry. We're just
like when Umbrasyl's like the most magic that he had in the show was regular invisibility, which is something you can't. Oh no, it was greater because he had both. So what he did was he turned invisible when they were flying away, and then he had it initially when they were fighting him in his cave. Is what they had it as. There was no like extended fight on the ground outside of Western or anything like that.
okay. That's what's up. Nah, no dragons were busted though. But yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. I like acid is dangerous, fam. She's not.
When you
I still have those
you
problems.
saw the poison. You
I don't
saw the
want
Why,
poison.
why are you so hung up on acid like this crazy fire is gonna kill you the same way?
Yeah, I'll say in that show, you literally saw this red dragon shoot a laser beam and blue flames out of his neck, blowing up.
Yeah.
Like,
All I gotta do is evade left. That's not hitting me. It's powerful, but it's not hitting me. When that nigga was flying, it was acid rain. I can't dodge raindrops. What do you want from me, bro? If you was just dodgeball, if you could dodge rain, you could dodge dodgeball. I don't want that smoke. I just don't want it. I don't want that
I was
smoke.
gonna say just be a dwarf, but no, they have poison, not acid resistance.
Yeah,
It's different.
Miles, it's the same way. It's same with the green. When the green pulled
My
up, it
favorite
was
character is
cloud of
wait, hold on. Give me the
Yeah.
Sphinx's name again. Osiris.
Osisa.
Osisa's my favorite character, followed by
He's not
Scanlan.
even God. Stop saying Osiris.
Osisa and Scanlan are my favorites. Probably. I don't like. I think the one that
Scanlan might be my favorite.
I think the
from,
one that needs to grow on me is
one.
Grog. I don't like Grog.
Grog was a character I didn't care about on my first watch through of the campaign. Now, like Grog's like he's just good. He's good. A lot of what Grog is good at is mainly Travis's acting in the game for me. Like it's not the character.
Bro, Glam. And that second free for
Oh yeah,
all when
huge
he
difference.
went crazy.
Yeah, huge difference in the Earthbreaker Groon fight too. You guys saw a very different thing in the show when he fought the monk.
Yeah, what was up with him? He just like, where did your strength come from? He just beat his fucking ass. He just beat. Yo, Grog just walked this guy, got his ass beat by some nigga, and then he just left. I said, that is hilarious. What is this training? What are you trying to teach me? Where does your power come from? He's like, food?
Yeah. Because actually, that's very
I said, okay, wait, hold on. He's like, all right, where's your power come from? I'm like, I don't have any power. I'm weak. Shit, mama, bro, you fucking this nigga up so bad. Who are you? Why are you cold? Why are you not helping us fight the Comic Conclave? That's what I want to know. We need your help, nigga. Like, help us. There's an acid dragon.
Because in the game, he's the one that actually tells them where the first two vestiges are. He tells them where the Titanstone Knuckles are, and he tells them where the Deathwalker's Ward is. Like, because they get the information because Osita doesn't know where any of them are. She just knows what the vestiges are. And then they go because prior in the campaign, Grog had a fight with another character in that area of Vasselheim called the Crucible, and he had fought like this half orc just as like a fighting pit tournament thing. And Earthbreaker Grun had watched him fight, and he had taken notice of Grog. So when they're going to like fight these things, he's like testing them. Okay, we need to figure out where your strength comes from, Grog. So they fight each other in the pit. But it's not just Grog that fights this dude. Vax and Scanlan are in the fight too, and all three of them are getting their asses whooped by this guy. But then eventually,
Grog just kind of runs into him in the show. He kind of just, I think he's like wandering because he's hungry, and he just goes there and he gets to speed while he has the blood sword.
Yeah, because in the game, like Travis and Grog wanted to talk with Earthbreaker Grun. And eventually, by the end of the combat, Grog had said, "My strength comes from my friends." And then Grun was like, "All right, let's go, and I'll give you this information. Then you guys can go get this armor." In the show, I don't even think Grog gives him an answer. He just gets his ass whooped.
He gets his ass whooped, but when he's fighting, so basically, I told you how I really wish that we did the blood sword. I wish he kept the sword. Like that's a sword that I'd consider using. I know it's dangerous. I know. But I think I have the mental fortitude to handle it personally. Maybe I'm not. If I was wrong, I just wouldn't use it. I'd try to like dispose of it
You got
in
the
a
version.
good way.
You got the version of the sword in the show where it wouldn't kill you if you didn't feed it. In the game, it would do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so and because the other guy's a vampire, he doesn't care about murking people, so he'll just feed the sword when he wants it. That makes sense. So if you're
Yes.
so it's hard. That's a blade's hard to use if you're a good person. So I don't know if I try to carry blood with me or something. Again, I just think that is actually pretty useful. Like I would attempt to actually like make it a part of my arsenal if it's possible. Again, I wouldn't do it foolishly to the point where I'm like I'm not sacrificing my life and our lives for this. But so when in the show when Grog just starts wailing on the sword into a rock, and I'm like, this is what's cracking the blade, I guess. Then it breaks, and pussy sticks it in like it's like Excalibur and like cracks it. But it says, "I'll take something from you too." Then when you see Grog, his arms are all skinny and mangly, and he's not strong anymore. He can't even like walk. Like he can't even like hold himself upright. And when he goes to challenge his uncle, the leader of this the Storm of Herds, what's his name again?
Kevdak is his name.
Kevdak. There, what the uncle, Pike's uncle or grandpa or whatever, was like, oh, some huge stimuli will like make you whatever. So when Pike's in danger and his uncle's about to like finish her off, he remembers the words of the old man. Where does your strength come from? And then he says, my strength comes from my friends. And then he like bulks up, and then he breaks out of the restraints he's in, and he starts wailing on him. And then that's how. Yeah, that's what happens in the show.
Yeah, that's some anime power shit. Like,
yeah, for sure. That's literally power friendship.
The way they did it was substantially better because it was just.
They said I'd be a villain 2 episodes in. I that's like, I'm cutting up dudes. It's sucking up blood. It's the sword's getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. Like I need that.
I'm using no cursed items.
I need that.
I'm good.
No, I understand. Again, I just want to give it an earnest attempt. That's all. If I can't handle it again, we'll banish it to whatever plane it got banished to.
D&D items do not care about your mortality. I am good.
Yeah, it was literally like he had to roll.
Because can't it take your own blood too? If you're not careful, like it'll take blood from you.
It wasn't even a blood thing. What it did was he had got it up to its full form. And what happens if you take a rest, it reduces in strength. But when he put it up to its full form and reduces its strength, it gets even worse hunger. So what it did was that he had to roll a saving throw and he failed. And instead of taking his blood, it literally took his soul out of his body and instantly killed him. So they had to like perform.
No. If it's doing soul shit, I don't want it then. That's different.
Yeah,
I don't fuck with soul shit.
Nah, you could look at a mirror wrong and then summon Cthulhu. What? You know, let's be careful. Rock out with your normal.
In the show when he lost his power, they gave him some type of. I guess Pike's grandpa is like, he makes like medicine and stuff like that, and he made like a
He's
big
supposed
pill.
To be like
he made a pill that has to go up your ass, and he didn't give Grog his abilities back.
Okay, yeah, that's some.
It didn't work, guys. Because I'm like, I'm like, bro, fam, what if they put that shit in his ass and he doesn't get his powers back and he woke up like he took that suppository for no reason?
Yep.
That was funny though. I actually laughed. Yeah. I have some crude, some totally human be funny sometimes. So
that's just one of those jokes that they put in there. I mean, there's some fucking in the show. I mean, in the actual game. Like,
see, I knew that. I knew they were skimming me on the cheeks, getting clapped, bro. I knew it. I need more of that. Put that in the
Oh,
show.
yeah, people be, they be.
Scanlan had his little 1-2, but I need more. I need more.
You mean yeah,
They definitely be clapping in the what's his name.
I'll say like the amount of stuff for Vax and Keyleth that should be there that isn't at the point in the story that you're at is
Is
criminal.
Vax bi in the campaign? Cause I think in this show he's bi. There's a shopkeeper. I remember his name right now, but him and them have like a fling.
Well, yeah, in the game, there's like there's a flirtation, which people. I mean, I don't know if this has ever been confirmed that he's bi, but it's a flirtation that like Liam had intended for the character to. It was like essentially like, hey, I'm using this
Using his
this
charm and charisma and stuff like that. Even
yeah,
if okay, I got you.
yeah, but like eventually, because Gilmore is he's one of the best NPCs from campaign 1, and I'm actually disappointed that Matt didn't get to voice him because Gilmore is his baby. Like Gilmore is what I describe. Gilmore is I constantly call him the
Yes,
greatest.
Sean Gilmore. Yes, this is the guy I'm talking about.
Gilmore is who I like to call the greatest gay man of all time. I love that motherfucker. Like Gilmore is a fantastic side character, especially during the dragon stuff. Like him and Vax,
He said he's the goat gay.
and like him and Vax, like there's no fling there, but Vax is essentially like at one point because of Vax's relationship with Keyleth, Vax tells Gilmore like, "Hey, like I can't like do anything with you. Like my heart belongs to somebody else." But they're legitimately just good friends after that point as well. Like still, it's a similar thing. It's a similar thing where like Vex, I think people have thought that she's bi, considering interactions that she has with other women, but there's no actual female relationships that she has. The only relationship that she has in the show is Percy. That's it. Same with Vex. He only
waste you, Percy. Waste you.
That definitely not. Well, you've only seen Waste You, so like,
I hope it changes. I want to like him. It's just not Gunn. Not Gunn's ass.
No mercy, no mercy, Percy.
Yeah, because I'll say you're gonna get some. You're gonna
no,
get.
actually, he has this one machine, big ass. It's one shot though, but it be fucking shit up. But it's like one bullet.
Bad news. That's the rifle. That's my.
I hollered. Wait, there's a game. Well, it's Critical Role has like this stream thing that they did where they played the D&D campaigns on stream. So the show is based off the campaigns, not a original out of nowhere thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just this past Thursday, it had been their 8-year anniversary. So Critical Role's been around for 8 years. As of
how many campaigns do they have right now? You said 3?
3.
Yeah, they're on their third.
This third one, boy, well, the shit that they're doing right now is absolutely fucking insane.
This got some juice on it.
Yeah,
definitely. It's got all the juice.
How do you like Matthew's like subclasses and stuff that he does?
His OG one. I think Blood Hunter is a good addition to the game. Like I've
never looked at Blood Hunter, but I mean, just even like his Oath of the Sea for Fjord, and even in the new one, he has Fundamental Chaos for the Barbarian and Empathy Domain, right?
Yeah.
Am I missing any others?
Bo's Monk Order, Cobalt Soul.
Oh yeah, Cobalt Soul. Yeah.
I mean, I think his subclasses are right. I've never found one to me that's amazing so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like Empathy Domain is whatever. Fundamental Chaos Barbarian is also whatever. Way of the Cobalt Souls, whatever. And then Oath of the Open Sea is just it's. Sir.
What?
How was that?
What was he with?
No,
I actually don't know.
Someone tweeted if you eat pussy you're a barbarian, and so I put the Dave Barbarian opening. It's been stuck in my head ever since I saw it. Barbarian. Dave though. It's stuck in my head. That's all. I'm sorry. It's stuck in my head.
I'll say, depending on how many vestiges you're gonna get in the next season,
I better get more. I was trying to get at least.
Okay. I'll say every character in the group has a vestige, and there's one character that has 2. I'm not going to tell you which one though.
I know who has 2. It's gotta be Scanlan the goat. It's gotta be Scanlan.
It is not. I'll tell you, it is.
Lame. Grog. It's gonna be Grog because I hate him. That's why.
You just said you like Grog.
That's not. I said I don't like Grog.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't?
You say because he's dumb? That's a big reason. He's a
barbarian, man.
He's fucking stupid. But
well. Grog had
Yeah,
I
a
had this
6.
feeling that the Critical
yeah,
Role
it's
version
low.
I'd like more. I'd like more Strong John more in that one. And this, I don't know. You kind of just annoys me.
Well, yeah, because the thing with D&D, it's like when you watch the things, you can get
No,
on
it's
the
not a
inside
literal
jokes a lot
video
more.
game. It's not a. I didn't say Steam. I said it. They stream it. They stream like
Stream
basically
it, yeah.
it's like a. I almost said
Yeah.
conclave, but it's a group of voice
Exactly.
actors and people who created their own Dungeons and Dragons campaign. They made their characters, their story, their world, and everything, and they played it like live, I guess, on stream, on camera. I don't know if they've recorded it
Yep.
beforehand.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
it's
the
live.
show is based off of that D&D campaign. It's not a literal video game. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, but you could play D&D if you want, though.
because
Yep.
nah,
Hmm.
it will. It's one of those things like it will never not be funny seeing like people break character and trying to like not laugh and hold it in.
Like
Yeah.
that's what makes fucking like specifically Grog. Like the shit that Travis does with Grog is fucking hilarious in like the actual game. Like it's substantially better in the show from what I've seen specifically for Grog, and I think even for Pike from what Ashley's done. Like,
Like,
And also, Sam Riegel does have certain bits that he does that are
dude,
actually
Sam,
visual.
Sam at the players table in comparison to Scanlon in the show, night and day. It's like 14 more levels of goaded at the fucking table.
Yeah, since because Sam actually likes to troll the other players, so like he actually does stuff at the actual table.
yeah.
And he has like
Grog,
bits. So
Grog does not remind me of Luffy. Honestly, I just think Grog is fucking
No,
not
dumbass.
at all.
Just think he's. I just think Grog. I just like. I
Grog is
want to.
stupid.
I think the difference between like. I think the thing with Grog is like I want to like him, and I think there's enough there. I just don't know if it's coming out in a way that's palatable for me personally. Because like, when they were talking about him when he was a youngin in the herd and he was just killing and murdering people or whatever. I don't know if this happens in the actual campaign. Then when he goes into the house where Pike's grandpa is, and he sees the way he looks at him, he looked at him like he was a monster, and that's when he kind of realized what he's doing is wrong, and he wants to
Mhm.
change, and he challenges Kevdek, gets his ass beat, gets kicked out of
Mhm.
the herd. Then Pike and the
Yep.
grandpa come back and heal him, and
They-
that's how he starts the path that he's on right now. That he wants to help the little folk, right?
Yep.
Also, I thought that I thought I mean, I don't know if this is a design that's necessarily coined, but he looks too much like Kratos, and that wasn't moving me he put on a belt that gave him a beard,
To
and he
be
already
fair,
has like
that was
certain.
before Kratos' redesign. I just want to
Yeah.
say.
That's why I said I don't know if this Kratos looks is like patented and down pat. I'm not saying they're copied it, but I'm like
Yeah,
now
I
like to me like you look just like Kratos in my head, and I'm like I don't. It's not really moving me. I don't even like Kratos, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's just that's just way Goliaths as a race look. They all like inherent
yeah.
like it's not even like tattoos. It's literally like they're born with tattoo like markings for a lot of
They're
them.
like half
He
like
And they
has
can't grow facial
they're
hair, so
half
that's why him getting
they're
that dwarf
half
beard
giants,
was.
right? Is that what they said they were?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
giants.
There are giants.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Actually, in the Briarwood arc, Ike has the moment where she kills an undead giant with her mace. In the game, I don't know if that's in the show as well because in the show they have her armor and weapons appear magically. In the game, like they're actually like with real armor, a real shield, and a real mace that she has that she uses. I don't know why that changes there, but
Uh,
because I'll
Storm
say like,
Giant's best giant.
well, I mean, hold on now, yeah, Storm for definitely best giant, but also depending on the vestiges you get next season, Naya. I mean, you're actually guaranteed to get a lot of Percy next season. Yeah,
Oh, this is a
definitely.
chance. This is a chance. I really want to like him, but he's a waste right now.
If they don't do, because what should be happening this season is that you're going to get a lot of Percy individually, a lot of Keyleth individually, and a lot of Percy and Vex romance is what you should be getting.
And what I need is I need them cheeks getting clapped on camera, on screen. Show all of it. All of it.
And I'll say as well, Percy and Vex is the best couple in Critical Role and is not close.
Well, I mean, if it was on HBO, you definitely would be getting it, but I don't know.
What's
I
it
don't
on?
know if
Amazon?
Amazon's very.
Oh.
It's on Amazon, yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know if Amazon's very. I'm trying to think of their shows. I don't know if
I
they are.
honestly, it honestly just shocks me because, like, personally speaking, I just think every show does this now. Like, it's not like even unnecessarily. Like, it's just unnecessarily like sexually graphic. Like every show does this. to the.
It's really HBO. HBO is just
I don't know if
it's really
I don't know
it's
if I agree
really
with that. I think it's in every show that I see nowadays for the most part.
Netflix definitely has its tendencies with some shows for sure, but
Mm.
HBO like that's their bread and butter. You know, what I mean?
Like we could push the boundaries. Okay, fair enough.
That's their butter. That's their bread and butter. I was gonna say I don't think did you say how you felt about Vex yet?
I
Me?
mean,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Vex. I mean,
I like
I
Vex
love
and
Vex.
Vax. I like Vex a little bit more right now. I thought his stuff with the Matrix
Okay.
was pretty cool. But I like Vexalia. Yeah, she's cool. I never disliked them.
Vax, yeah,
Um,
Vax is the best character.
You like Trinket?
if Percy claps Vex shit, then he gonna naturally get cooler. He just in a
You
corny
like
phase.
Trinket, Naya?
Trinket is the bear. Yeah, shout out to the bear.
That's the
Yes,
bear.
I
That's the
said
bear.
I keep saying let him out, let him fight, let him help, let him out. Cause she got the thing from the demon girl with the horns. I can't remember her name. I ever forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh
Zarha,
yeah,
whatever.
that's another change too. That thing was in the game. That was a item that was on the champion of the Raven Queen's body with the Deathwalker's Ward. It was a little item that he had, and
Oh.
they actually took it out, and it actually had a wolf in it
They have the
that
boys
they
and Invincible, so they made. I don't remember Invincible
let's
having a lot of nudity
Galdrick?
though.
Galdrick, right?
Invincible,
Goldrick, yes,
wait,
Yeah.
Invincible comic. Did it have a lot of nudity? I don't think I remember having a lot of nudity.
No.
It's just
it
very,
has
it just
No.
uber violent. The boys, yeah, fair enough. The
had
boys is
Yeah, it's violent. It's not. It doesn't have that much.
the
I don't even know.
most nudity that Invincible had was when a certain scene happened that I can't talk about for spoiler reasons and
is it
graphic.
Mark? Is
Yeah.
it Mark?
Yes, yes.
What a loser! What a loser!
Come on, bro. Yeah.
Don't do that.
I would have blew her back out and lied and lied
This motherfucker
and lied to
That's
Eve
insane.
and lied to
and
Eve.
lied to Eve.
She yo
No,
yeah.
this is no. This is no, no,
Absolute
no,
rat.
no, no.
Absolute
This is
rat.
not this. This is no,
This is
no.
not the
Absolutely
answer.
not.
This
This
is
is
the
not
this
Absolutely
I
not.
can show you the way, brother. This is the way, brother. This is the way you have to go. You have to go on. You have to follow the path that I show you.
Listen,
They yeah.
would I have blown her back out if I had the chance? You're damn right. But still, this is not the answer right now.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's
that's not the
bro.
answer.
Yo, you cannot convince me Viltrumite Coochie hitting is not hitting different, bro. I need to
Dude,
try it. I gotta try it. I
he
gotta
was wait.
I gotta give
Was
it
he
a
married
test
at this?
drive.
Was he
Yo,
married at this point? He
was not.
wasn't. He was just.
No, I think
Okay.
I think they're just together still or whatever. I get that part. Like that's the bad
Yeah.
part. But like I said, I would have lied about it. Like, bro, she did this.
Nah,
I didn't
that
want to
was
do
that was
it.
tragic. That was tragic.
I-
Listen, that bitch was bad as fuck. So like, I am,
So
little
listen, no,
Marky. I said, look at my progeny over there. I got no. I'm playing it up. I know it's supposed to be
no,
all serious, whatever situation, but I don't really feel bad. I'm sorry, I don't.
what?
I don't feel bad. If he was like 3, okay, 13, okay, you grown ass man, bro. You got
What?
your
What is
you
that?
got
What is,
you got your cheeks taken. You gotta hold that L.
More like he just got his dick taken.
You
That's what it was.
gotta hold that L. Oh man, I'm half
Do we-
kidding. I'm
Now, did
49%
you
joking.
should be. You
49%.
should be full kidding.
I'm not. I'm not a good person. Don't expect this from me.
just look up the fan fictions where it was actually consensual, and then you're good.
Yeah. But
They
but
exist.
honestly though, I really fuck with Eve. Eve is a goat, so don't do that to Eve.
Yes.
I'm not a good
Yeah.
person. Forget about me. Say what I missed. You said wait, you missed it. Your girl called you. That's all right, bro. You missed it. You missed it.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
you should be getting goaded Vex and Percy stuff in the next season.
All
Could
right,
be
good.
anyway.
I hope some backs get blown out though. I need
They
that.
could just fucking make it extend longer like they're doing with Vax and Keyleth for no reason.
Also, the Viltrumites are not humans, so like their way of life's different. Not to say that's not right or wrong or whatever, just their way of life different. Like I don't project what I
Yeah,
think onto other people and cultures and standards and ways
hey,
of
but
life. I'm
what
not
is
saying I
Mark?
have to agree with it.
What is Mark? What is
I have to,
Mark?
he's human and half Viltrumite.
Okay, all right.
My point is,
So it doesn't.
no.
Interculture
She
stuff
she
isn't the
doesn't
same.
she doesn't come from that planet. Their customs and standards and traditions are not the same.
True,
It's kind of like
but
the easiest example that I like to use when I have to talk about like aliens being different is Drax. When Drax is very hyper literal, you can't give him like idioms and whatnot. He takes it very literally. Where it's like Oh, okay. I guess you're a
I
little too
like I
slow
like
for
to
that.
go to
I'm not
OG.
slow. I have the fastest reflexes in the galaxy. But you're like,
I like
you
to go
meant
to like
slow in the
OG
brain.
Mandalorians.
Hmm?
Yeah, like OG Mandalorians, like their way of life and like fighting. Yeah, I get that, but the difference is that she's now impacting someone not of her culture. So that's the difference.
No, that's
He
So
fine.
like,
forced
That's
your
whether
I
or
know.
not her,
culture upon
It's
him.
wrong. My point is, she probably at the time she didn't know that. She apologized later because she was like, not to say that that excuses it, but my point is they're aliens. It's literally foreign to them.
Yeah,
Probably just take what they
yeah,
want. So
they definitely do that.
yeah.
she got what was coming to her.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. I didn't feel bad. It's just.
I definitely.
It's just
She
funny
got what
because
was
like
coming to her.
I truly believe that most people who read that scene are overplaying how, oh my god, I couldn't I'm so horrible. I'm like, bro, shut up, man. Y'all did not all think this. I laughed
Look,
so loud. I said, look at him holding his knees. Can't- you can't show me shit like that. I'm gonna just laugh, bro. That is hilarious to me. This is coming from somebody who dealt with shit like that. So if I can laugh about it, it's alright. Barbarian. Wait, you read the next season? Oh well, I own all of Invincible. I own all of it. I have every single. I got
Yeah.
them bricks. Goddamn bricks.
X.
Goddamn bricks. Hey, but yeah, I like Vax. I like Vax and Vex. They're cool. I want. Oh, tell me about the Everlight. Is the Everlight like more important than like?
Aaron Ray.
You said who?
That's her name. Aaron Ray is her actual name.
Okay.
In the first campaign, they never referred to them as the titles. Matt came up with the titles later for I think copyright reasons because they were gods from other IPs, so he just uses it like this.
Smart.
She, I mean, it's a goddess. It's a background character for the most part. It's not as in your face as the matron is. I'll
Okay.
put it like that.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't think actually any. Well, the last arc of campaign 1, you're going to get a lot of gods. I'll put it like that.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta be honest with y'all. I am very like if the Invincible show does go the route and doesn't really change things up and has that scene happen, I want to see how the internet reacts. I'm actually very very interested in seeing how the internet reacts.
I think they need to translate that scene and that plot line 1-to-1. Otherwise, it's just not going to hit.
I At that point I feel like you should not bother or something. But then
Yeah,
again, it's just
I don't think they're going to do it as straight personally because I think they're going to pussy out because that is a huge deal for Mark's character and
yeah, because
justifiably so.
I remember at one point he's like Eve could you want Eve to touch him. I'm like, bro.
Yep.
Oh. The matron is hot.
Yeah,
I don't know if
okay,
I don't
we're
know if
not
we saw
doing
the
this. We're
matron's
not
phase,
doing
but
this.
I think I agree.
We're not doing this. That's why it's so bad because Mark was supposed to be so powerful. That's why it hits more.
Well, no, it's not even that. I mean, the man got forced upon and did something
Yeah,
something he didn't want to do. Like that's traumatic. It is.
yeah, exactly. And he did try to fight, but like she was just stronger at that point. There was literally nothing he could do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got your ass beat.
And then Eve,
Got your cheese take.
Eve as she did pull Dove. She tried.
What was
Limit-
crazy is that after that happened, the bitch was like, "You want to go again?" After it happened, you're like, "Yeah, I want to go another round."
Oh,
Like,
right after.
Oh, I remember because
when they saw
sometimes
each other again,
he'd like see her again and he'd like
she
she'd
pulled
be like,
up.
I want that ass.
Like, I was
Oh.
like, that bitch was
Yeah.
tripping.
Nah, she's top
Yeah,
6.
she was
She's top
tripping.
6 for real. She's really
not.
top 6. She's top 6. Top 6. She got Mark right. She was throwing that thing. Nah, ultimately though, it's Eve over everyone. I really fuck with Eve. I really like her. So
It is true.
not when
Eve
she
is a
got
goat.
not when she was fat though. That was not moving me. But it happens. It's realistic. But like, oh,
I knew
lose that.
her name. I
Said lose
knew
that
her
weight.
name was a
You know
fucking
what?
knew her name was a let's go.
Oh, that was something else. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to see. I hope they do it though. I wish to witness whatever you wanna all the think pieces. It's gonna be fun to see. Fuck Eve goofy ass, but when she got thick, it was lit. Nah, she was fat.
That was also trauma fat as well. That was post. I had an abortion when my baby daddy wasn't here.
Yeah.
That's because Mark was in
A
a
lot
whole
of these
different
characters
fucking
really went through
universe.
some real human experiences that I really
Real
appreciate.
shit, man.
I really appreciate that. It is the best self-contained superhero story I've ever read in my life. From like a concentrated creative team. Right after that, I'd say Empowered for me with Adam Warren. That's really good. But yeah, I am going to get to the Black Hammer and everything stuff. That universe. What's the verse called again? The verse in general.
I do not know.
I swear.
I still have that first collected volume in my house. I just haven't opened it yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was thought. Yeah, not that bad. Invincible was special, man. Never
This
forget
is
the first.
actually apt that we've been talking about Critical Role because I'm literally going through campaign 1 again right now. I'm in the middle of the Feywild stuff.
Yeah, that's good. I just I need season 3. Vox Machina.
They better fuck yeah. Honest to God, if they don't up the romance game for both of the major pairings, because hell, you have more Scanlan and Pike at this point than you in the campaign than you do in the show. I'm
That's
fairly certain.
facts. I actually was concerned of how Pike was gonna take the fact that he had a youth. I was like, what's gonna happen?
She took it well in the campaign. Like at one point,
No, she took it well on the show too. Pretty much, she just like make sure be the type of dad that she could like be proud of someday or whatever type of thing.
yeah.
And I was like, just like that, I'm slinging meat,
I'll
bro.
say, I don't know if this was in the case in the show because in the game, Scanlan gives her a note. Oh yeah, you guys haven't even seen the Magnificent Mansion yet either because they haven't put that in the show yet.
Nope.
You guys don't. You guys are getting cucked out of so much good shit. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, Scanlan has a spell where he can make an interdimensional mansion on another plane of existence anytime he wants.
Is that where does this Kang it?
No, but it's just a housing place for them. That's all it really is. But he developed it. It's a 7th level spell, so it's a thing he got in the middle of the campaign. It wasn't like a beginning type shit. So when they're in there at one point, Scanlan is worried that he's going to die fighting the dragons. He gives Pike a letter asking her to essentially take care of his daughter if he does die. And he was like, "Only read this if I die." And it was a hilarious moment because as soon as he left her room, I actually looked at the camera, was like, I opened the letter and immediately read it as soon as he's gone.
No hezzy. Nah, I read that. Well,
Yeah,
I
Pike
probably the same way.
read it.
I'm the same
And
way.
they yep. Go ahead, Naya.
That's all.
You're okay. Like yeah, and then at the same point they had a discussion about it too, and it was great interaction between him and Pike because there was a romance between the two of them, and it was that one was the long con one. That one was the one that didn't happen until like the epilogue. Whereas Percy and Vex and Keyleth was in the middle of the campaign, very active, and a lot of shit happened with it. And Percy and Vex was the substantially more sexual one as well, and which is apt given who Vex.
Percy got some toys, he got some gadgets.
No, he just be clapping those cheeks. That's all he'd be doing.
I feel it. That's funny. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with this fucking Comic Conclave niggas. See what's going on. There's more dragons in the show. I don't know if that's happening in the campaign, but the goal was to like, I guess, put the dragon eggs in it. I don't know, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's an army of little red babies, little babies.
But isn't the older you are, the more powerful you are? Is that
Yes.
how it works for the dragon? So the new ones won't be as well, the hatchlings, I'm gonna call them, won't be as powerful as Acid Dragon. No. It's crazy because apparently he's like he's like the weakest out of the minions. I said how. I said how Acid.
He would be the second weakest. Technically, I mean, in terms of like, I mean, he's the first one that got beaten. But in terms of like creature rating in the game, black dragons are more powerful than white dragons, but they fight the white later. So it's a weird thing there. Him and the white are like about the same in terms of each other.
Interesting.
Although I think actually I can't remember because I have to watch the Voragol episode again because I don't remember which fight is more difficult. I think Umbrasyl is more difficult because they were at a weaker power level when they fought Umbrasyl than when they fought Voragol.
Shout out to Cisa, man.
Shout out to Cisa.
Are there more Sphinx?
Shout out her husband.
Or just those two?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, that was like something I saw on the show when they said like sphinxes were supposed to be extinct. I'm like, I don't know about this. This was not in the game. That might have been a new thing Matt had added, but that we've only seen those two sphinxes in his verse. We've never seen any other sphinx in the entirety of the show other than the two of them, and they're both still alive in the actual like campaign.
Yeah,
So I'm not.
I think they wanted to have a very powerful creature like him go down to show how dangerous the
That
dragons
was
were. That was
animation
like,
and
yeah,
flex budget. Yeah.
yeah, because because even in the last episode, I actually thought what because Scanlan was gonna like run away again or something, which I thought was a really
Mhm.
weird kind of moment for him there. I thought that he kind of got over the fact that like it should be dangerous, but I actually thought he was gonna see the Sphinx's head and like be like, oh nah, this guy's gotta die, and take the message and beat him. He ended up beating him anyways, but I thought what was gonna motivate him was gonna be seeing the Sphinx's head, and he didn't even see it. So
Yeah.
that was a missed
Also, yeah,
opportunity.
because the Sphinx isn't dead in the campaign, so it's completely different. It's because
Well,
they
yeah, I like both of them, man. And at the end, when he's like, "This is the wisest sage I've ever known." I said,
Kamal Giori, that's his name.
"Yeah, yeah, he was cool." I like this though. I it, so how's the second campaign? You like that more than the first one or less?
No, the first one is still
Different reasons. Mm,
first one is still my favorite, and
okay.
it's not. I think the third is better than the second. Um,
So like okay, fair enough.
I think the second is it has certain moments that are fantastic, but I think for the most part it's like baseline good to a lot of it's like okay-ish. There's some parts that I actually think are bad, and I think the second season ended with a whimper because it kind of dropped a plot point for like a substantial number of in real life years that didn't get brought back to until like an epilogue portion, which should not have been the case. They should have just kept playing. Um, but yeah, it's a very different party dynamic in the second one too. They're not like the traditional fantasy heroes like Vox Machina are. The Mighty Nine are much more. There's a lot more dealing with seedy underbellies and politicking and very. I mean, I think every member of the Mighty Nine had like substantially more in-depth traumatic shit than Vox Machina did, but for certain characters anyway. Like barring Percy and Grog,
I think it's
it
kind
was
of
a lot
funny
more
because
dark.
when I play D&D, I have thank you for the follow. I have this habit of straight up giving myself the greatest, most happiest backstory in childhood of all time. But I always tell it like it's like grueling, like a like, dark story. And it's like, so what? Your parents were around, they raised you, you're well educated,
Yep.
you're on top of your class. Like, what are you complaining about? Like, it was too easy. I needed more hardship.
Like also,
Like,
it's also
like that's my gimmick. So yeah.
yeah,
Any
it's
adult
also very
film stars you recommend me to watch right now? Hey, yo, no.
her.
Yeah. Go watch them. Go
Who
watch
is
some Violet My Ears. No,
Jesus?
sap it. Go ahead.
It's
Go ahead.
also a very different, party makeup in Cameron too, because it's Travis plays a warlock, Marisha plays a monk, Liam plays a wizard, and the Liam's wizard character is the best character in that party, and it's not even close. Like in my Ashley plays a barbarian, Laura plays a cleric, Halton plays two characters, one a blood hunter, one a cleric, and then Stam played a rogue.
Okay, that's exciting. And then
Yep.
you said in the third one, some characters come back, like Keyleth or something.
Yeah, Keyleth is two characters from the second campaign. Caleb and Beauregard came back.
Beauregard
Ke-
sounds familiar.
Beauregard is Maria's second character. It's the monk character that she has.
Mm.
Keyleth, and so both of her previous characters are in this campaign at one point because Matt's controlling them as the DM at this point. Like Keyleth is heavily in it. At one point, the third campaign people go to Whitestone and they meet Percy, Vex, and Pike while they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and Vax recently just showed up in the last episode in a very interesting way, which I can't talk about because Vax is special.
He became the new matron.
I'm not going to say nothing, but Vax is
He
a little very different than other characters in terms of how he can be used in the plot because of the ending of the campaign.
Yeah, He got the interdimensional fate weaving, death something. Yeah, he
Mhm.
different. That's my
And
boy. That's my boy. He got the speed, the agility. I fuck with him.
Bax is great. I think Bax for a long time was lower on my list. I think
He
he's
said,
now
"Chill,
above
don't
my.
guess." Okay, I'll stop. He said, "Stop guessing. We don't
Yeah,
want to know." All
don't.
right, all right, I'll
Yeah,
stop. I'll stop
Bax is
crying.
like I think now my third favorite character from Vox Machina. It
He's
was
my
for a
third
long time.
favorite behind Scanlan
A
and
long time. Bax.
Cisia. I'm gonna I'm
Like
gonna
it's
I'm
for
gonna I'm gonna write her name down. I'm gonna tweet her name so I don't forget.
Osisa.
Or Cisa. Let's tweet her name.
It's spelled OS. It's either OSSYSA or OSY.
In the Fey, you said the Fey realm was like a couple of things. The show just kind of had
Feywild,
some goat guy following them around, drawing like a bunch of dick
Garmelie.
pics, and then he was
Garmelie's there.
some like awesome dude. I
He's
don't
an
know. I
arch.
don't know.
Yeah, he's an archfey. He's
Yeah.
the most. Archfays are around the same level of power as like ancient dragons, uh,
So why
and
don't their
archstone
lazy fucking asses do it themselves? Why I gotta do this
because
shit?
they live on another plane of existence, man.
So come to this one.
They don't give a fuck about that one.
Well, suck my ass.
And what's crazy, I think in the show, like they don't even know that he's an archfey. In the game, they know he's an archfey, and they meet him and like, well, he's originally the satyr form, but then he reveals himself as an archfey to them after they get the bow.
Nah, what they leave and then he does it, so we know, like as the
Yeah,
audience, but they don't know.
because
And
he
at that
comes
point,
back.
Vaxalia could have showed off the bow to her dad, but they decided not to. Just left.
Yeah, like because he comes back later in the third campaign, and they have or in the first campaign rather, and he has interactions, and he's also a recurring character in the second campaign too.
Interesting. Interessante. This was good. I needed this.
Actually, also, Elith is the only character that's appeared in all three campaigns as well.
Yeah, of course she's broken. She's the goat.
Well, because in the second campaign there was because you know the plot line about she doesn't know where her mother is.
Mm-hmm.
In the second campaign, the second party found Keyleth's mom on an island where her memories got erased, and they restored them to her. And it was and in the game, only Sam and Liam realized who it was, and they're like, "Guess who that fucking is?" And like, "It's Keyleth's mom." There's like, "No fucking way, this is Keyleth's mom," and they all lost it. And then eventually, when they left the character, her mother returned to her in a scene, and in the scene, it's like you know how she opens the tree shit to transport. Her mother did that back to her home, and on the other side of the doorway, you see Keyleth there, and she like gasps and and then the tree closed, and that's where they ended the episode on like a good like positive note that she was back. That was the only time we
I
saw
do
her.
like that all these campaigns take place, I guess, in the same world or universe. That's because
Mhm.
originally when I thought about the Mighty Nine or whatever, I thought it was a completely different verse, different world, whatever.
Nope.
That's
Because
cool.
campaign 2 takes place 20 years after campaign 1, and campaign 3 takes place, I think, 10 years after campaign 2. And it's all in Matthew Mercer's homebrewed world that he made.
Mm. But all right, that was fun. We will
Critical Role, good time.
We will do this again.
Support him.
Another day. Shout out Vox Machina. Shout out Critical Role. Shout out the Mighty Nine. Shout I'm just throwing Rat Queens in there. shout out them. Go watch Simi fight the same boss for 2 hours.
Lovely.